Hey everyone, so I have put recipes on the blog for the longest time, recipes that I collect as I go around the world. Now, I don't just put these recipes on the blog willy-nilly. I actually have tried all the food that I've put on the blog, and I really love those recipes. I tried a lot of food that I don't like as well. I won't put those recipes on the blog. But I thought to myself, what else would you guys like to see besides just the recipe on the blog? And so I asked on Instagram, I did a poll, and about 90% of you responded and said that you'd like to see cooking demos. So I've decided to start a new series called World Kitchen, which will basically be me cooking foods using the recipes that I have collected from around the world. So you can get the recipe on the blog, you'll have a video to follow, and you can make this all at home. And today, we are going to make shakshuka. Shakshuka is a food that I tried in Israel. It's vegetarian, it doesn't have to be, but most of the time it is. And it is basically a meal that consists of eggs stewed or poached in tomatoes. Now, shakshuka, I call it Israeli Shakshuka since that's where I tried it. But shakshuka actually originates from northern Africa. Basically, northern Africans from Egypt, Tunisia, Morocco, Algeria, and also from Yemen. That's not in northern Africa, but wait, is it? Anyways, Yemen immigrated to what is now Israel, and when they did, they brought this meal with them. It's a really easy meal to make. Anybody can make it. It's so simple, and it uses very simple ingredients. So it was a great meal for people who might be struggling financially, which most immigrants do at the beginning of their new lives in their new country. So I will introduce the ingredients now. Basically, what we have is tomatoes. You can buy the canned variety or you can get fresh tomatoes. I use the canned variety because it's easier, and I'm all about easy at dinner time usually because we're very busy people. Onions, bell peppers. You should really use red bell peppers. We just had these bell peppers, and I'm not one to waste food, so we're using those. Of course, eggs, jalapeno pepper, and garlic, cumin, turmeric, paprika, and I like to add cayenne for a little bit of extra spice. You'll want salt and pepper just, for taste, and you'll need olive oil to start the cooking going. So let's go ahead and start cooking. So we start off by heating olive oil inside of a heavy pan. I used this olive oil from Greece that I bought. You won't find this in the States. This is very old. I mean, this olive oil comes from a very old tree. The tree that it came from is more than 4,000 years old, and you can see that video on my YouTube channel or my Facebook page. But we start off with olive oil, and we heat up the onions. You'll want to heat these onions basically until they're soft. I'm not a very clean cook. And you'll add the bell peppers in at the same time as the onions. Okay, so our onions have sweated it out in there. The bell peppers are sort of soft. And now we're ready to put our garlic into the pan. So you shouldn't use this much garlic necessarily. In my recipe online, once it publishes, you'll see that you probably only need about 2 or 3 teaspoons of garlic. I really like garlic, so we're going to use a lot of garlic. But garlic, just flavor however you want. So we're going to put this in the pan and let it cook until the garlic is fragrant. The best garlic to use is obviously fresh garlic. Like I said, we're busy in this house, so we're using pre-minced garlic. Judge me if you want to. I don't care. Alright, so the garlic has heated up. It smells like garlic in here. Add your jalapeno peppers, or you can use like red chili peppers. Just make sure they're diced up really small. Take the seeds out, otherwise it'll be too spicy. Unless you really like spicy, then go for it. So we're going to add this jalapeno peppers to the pan and let that cook for a bit. Alright, so our veggies have cooked. Now we're going to add our spices. You're going to add a little cumin. I think it's around a teaspoon. I really like cumin, so we're going to use a lot more than a teaspoon. We're going to use quite a lot more than a teaspoon because I really like cumin. Alfred thinks it smells like feet, don't you?
Like old sweaty man, but
yeah. Paprika, really important. So just add a ton of paprika. There's more specific measurements in the recipe online, but paprika is delicious. So we're gonna add turmeric to it. Do you know turmeric is anti-cancerous, so it's good for you. And we're gonna use cayenne. Now this we're gonna use sparingly because it's a bit spicy, but it adds a little bit of heat to it. That's all you need. You don't need a lot of that. And mix it up. Let the spices toast just a bit. Come in here a little. Let the spices toast a bit, so it should start looking a bit dry. And it's basically only gonna cook for about a minute. Just enough for the spices to kind of start blending in. Next, we're gonna add the main ingredient, which is the tomatoes. The tomatoes are really important because they help make the stew. So just throw the tomatoes in. In here, it's cooling off the bottom of the pan a little. So throw the tomatoes in, turn your heat down just a bit, and stir that puppy up. And once you've stirred it in and mixed it all up, scrape the bottom, get the little bits of caramelized section. Technically, you shouldn't have anything caramelizing, which means that my heat was too high, but it's gonna be okay. But just kind of make sure it's all mixed up, and then let it sit here and simmer. Turn the heat up just a bit once you've stirred it all together to bring it to a simmer. And then you're gonna turn the heat down and allow it to simmer for about 15 minutes. Alright, so we're going to now add the eggs to our tomato, pepper, and onion mixture. It's cooked for 15 minutes, so it's ready for the eggs. Now, the eggs we're just going to crack in. You just crack them, you drop them in. Now make sure the eggs are not touching to the best of your ability. Leave about 1 inch or 2 inches between each egg. I usually just kind of space them out into like a star shape with one in the middle. It's just the easy way to do it. So we're going to crack the eggs. And so we're just going to place the eggs in here and allow them to cook until they're just set. It's not going to go the way I wanted it, but it'll be okay. So just gonna let them cook until they're just set, probably around 2 to 3 minutes. Alright, so our shakshuka is basically finished. The eggs have cooked, and now all we're gonna do is garnish the top with some parsley. Actually, when you get it in Israel, they basically cover it in parsley, so we're gonna do the same. And you can cook the eggs until they're just set, which is what we've done. However, you can also, if you don't like your eggs runny, you can also scramble the eggs when you drop them in so that they're not runny. But if you don't like your eggs runny, you need to learn to like them runny, because that's the best way to eat eggs. And voila, our food is finished.